So somebody wanted to see start to finish my flying and the way it works. So this is where we're going to start. That's my gaming router. That router is dedicated to Flight Simulator. My laptop sits right here. The laptop is hardwired in with a Cat 8 cable. That Cat 8 cable allows me to take advantage of the maximum bandwidth for the LAN port on that switch, and I'm sorry, on that router. Oh, it has a switch in it, I guess you could say. Anyhow, which is 1.5 gig. So that is my hardwired connection here. Now, you can see my Quest headset is really close to those antennas. Yes, that's right, all 8 antennas. And the only thing on that wireless network is what you're looking at right there, that Quest headset. So that headset gets its wireless signal from right there. The hardwired signal goes from there to there, which is not very far at all. My gaming mouse is wired. My gaming keyboard, wired. The reason for that, because I don't want any interference from any connection. Let me get my desk light on. Oh, it's not plugged in. Never mind. I don't want to have any interference from my keyboard or my mouse, and I used to get that. So I don't do that now with Bluetooth or wireless. I use wired mouse and keyboard. Now, I have a fan on here, which, turn it back on and get the lights on. My cooling fan, which I run on max when I'm flying. My laptop we'll get to. Hardware wise, you can see what I have sitting here is the Alpha flight yoke with a throttle quadrant, the Velocity 1 flight stick with a throttle quadrant, and then my rudder pedals down there. Those are all plugged in there to a powered USB, and then again the keyboard. Starting a flight. Oops, sorry, I apologize for the fingertip. We sign in. Now, in a lot of cases, most people, when they go down here on their computer and they look at their icons, they have a ton. They have a lot more than what you see on my system here. And what you're seeing on my system running is the virtual desktop streamer, the intelligent standby list cleaner, which I have discussed in videos and so have many others, and nothing else running. This is just showing that I have a USB devices plugged in, my network connection, my speakers, and the battery, which of course is not really needed just because I'm always plugged in. So I keep nothing running on this computer. This computer has one purpose, flight sim, that's it. So I do have my recording software or my film editing, my video pad, but that's it. There is nothing else really on here. I took off everything. So if you go into apps, I took off everything that I don't need that I could take off. I uninstalled everything that I could uninstall, and I don't run anything on here but my flight sim. So when I get started on a game, all I do is I launch my sim, I turn on my headset, which right now has got a plug in, but that plug does not go to my computer. That plug only goes to a power for charging. So I plug that in, I turn it on, I launch the game, and then I launch SteamVR. Now it doesn't see the headset because I don't have the headset on my head. But I'm going to switch to the headset after I can get this phone set up someplace here so it'll keep recording and still show you my screen. Okay, hopefully that'll work and it won't fall. Okay, so I'm putting on my Quest headset right now. So I just put on my Quest headset, and now what I'm looking at inside my headset is actually a loading area what I need to do is inside of the headset, and I'll record this as well, but I have it in other videos, is all I'm doing now is I'm clicking on the virtual desktop app inside of my Quest headset. Now, I'm not going to do anything else really with the Oculus once it loads. So now I can see my virtual desktop. I can see the game and so forth. I can see it loading. So now, if I hit reset headset, I'm going to go into the SteamVR loading page. Now you can see I have OpenXR Toolkit running here. I have the, where is it? Oh, here it is. The ISLC, Intelligent Standby List Cleaner. And like I said, there are plenty of videos out there on that. It's just running the same settings that everybody recommends. Nothing different, nothing unique. So now my game is running, so I'm going to go ahead and just pick an aircraft here. I don't have the one I want loaded, but we're going to go with my Magister. And we're just going to pick, let's go to a Dawson's. Yeah, that's not for fun. We change the time. We hit fly. Now at this point it's loading up here. Now again, you can see my headset is still not detected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my headset on. Well, not turn it on, but I'm going to reset it. Which means I'm going to lose the view of my desktop in the headset, because it's going to launch and load. So now I'm looking at the SteamVR platform. I'm going to turn the volume down on the game. I'm going to hit ready to fly. And now I got to just hit Control Tab on my keyboard. And now I need to pick up the controller just to get rid of the screen that's in there. And hit the space bar to recenter. Of course, I'm not really lined up here, so let me adjust. Yeah, inside my seat. And recenter by hitting the space bar. Now, the keyboard, the mouse, I know where they are, so I just reach out and I can feel them. I am not actually seeing the keyboard and mouse. I can see a little bit if I glance down along the side of my nose, but for the most part, I'm just doing that by feel. Same thing with my flight yoke, which if you were to turn now and look here, and I'm going to grab my phone, which I think is still recording, and you can see, hopefully, that I have my headset on, and I know where it is. I can reach out and grab it. I know my throttle quadrants over here, my feet, and if I was flying with my yoke, I line it up so that if I look down, I see my flight stick in front of me, even though I'm not seeing a real flight stick. So we just take off the brakes here and fire up the engine, which, oh, I must have had the brakes on. There we go. And that's that. And now I'm flying. That's all I do. I'm not sure I'm going to get enough speed here. Are you guys seeing the computer? Oh, there it is. Okay. Whoopsie daisy. Come on. Why aren't you lifting off? What the hell? Come on, lift up and over those trees. What the heck? Yowza. Holy cows. Let's get the gear up. He didn't like that too much, but anyhow, so there you go. You can see now I'm flying. And, I don't know what's going on, but I got like no speed here. Full throttle, must not like the cold. I must have picked a spot that's too cold, so. Oh man, that's why. All right, well, anyhow, so my trim, my elevator trim was set really bad there. That's why I went down and why I couldn't take off. See, I didn't check it. But that wasn't the purpose anyhow. I wasn't here to fly. There I go. But that's what I do. That's it. That's my entire process for flying. And again, I'm going to do my settings video here shortly. I just have some more testing to do with this latest driver and so forth. All right, there you go.
Echo Golf November Bravo Traffic Supermarine Golf India Romeo Tango Yankee taking off runway tree 0 straight out departure.
Wow, here it is, the settings video. And what a beautiful morning for a flight. Look at this, huh? I'm sitting here in the Spitfire in England, and we're going to get ready here. We're just going to take off, and this flight is going to continue down in the corner, and you can see the smoothness here. And the settings that I'm going to show you are what this flight is actually flying under. And so you'll get to see the flight as it continues, like I said, in the corner, and we'll discuss what my settings are here. And I sure hope it helps you. It's a lot of work to try and find the right settings, as everyone knows. It's a lot of changing and unchanging and changing, and then trying to remember what you changed the day before and then what you have already tested, and adding the extra difficulty of trying to remember all those settings so that I could actually show them to you. So I hope I have everything here covered. The first half of this video was a answer to a few requests. People wanted to see how I did my flying, but this is the actual settings. So you can see here that my Nvidia DLSS is on super resolution, and we got auto. Reprojection is on depth, Fidelity Sharpening 90, world scaling 100, and you can see the list going by here, so I'm not going to read off everything, but I will point out a few items. First of all, my buildings are on high, and if you look at my previous settings, you'll see that normally they're on medium, and my grass and bushes is normally turned off, and my terrain level of detail is usually below 30. Instead, that's now on 85. My buildings are on high. I actually have grass and shrubs turned on medium, not just turned on, but turned on medium. My objects level of detail is now running at 100, again, higher than normal. And you can see the video down below, the smoothness and speed and response I'm getting. Now, the Anisotropic filtering is turned off here because I actually have it turned on in the Nvidia control panel. Texture super sampling 8x8, texture synthesis medium, shadow maps 1024. Terrain shadows on 128. Normally those are always off. I almost never ever have those turned on. Ambient Occlusion turned on low, normally always off. Now it's turned on low. Raymarched on medium instead of low. And bloom turned on. Very, very different. So those are my basic settings. The photogrammetry I just turned off here because I normally fly with that turned off, but I had it on for the first half of this flight, and you saw the performance was still good. Aircraft traffic, road traffic, I always keep those at a minimum. I don't really need a lot of those in my game. The flight model is modern, everything on 100 as realistic as can be. Now, the OpenXR settings I have, and the individual numbers, which I have a 2090 by 2190, may not be the same for everybody. But you can see my size is 96, sharpness 65. I actually have FFR on right now with the setting of quality and wide, and then the frame rate throttling. And I have my override resolution turned on, which is 2177 by 2281. But again, don't pay much attention to the numbers because it's almost never going to be the same for everybody. These are my SteamVR settings. Really just all the default, except for ambient filtering is turned off. Here I have my custom resolution at 100%, which gives me the numbers of 2332 by 2444. Numbers always seem to be different from one computer to the other. not SteamVR, my streaming settings for my virtual desktop. Quality is on medium, frame rate 90, bit rate 75, sharpening is on 80, space warp enabled, video buffering is enabled, and then the regular settings here don't really change much. Those don't seem to do much with the game, although I do have the clock rate boosted. And you can see again down below the corner. Now I'm going to try and show you some through the lens video, which is very difficult to fly and hold the Quest headset and hold a telephone, sorry, they don't call them that anymore, do they? And hold a phone up so that you can actually focus what's inside the lens. Very, very difficult. Now, this is not the flight that I'm flying, obviously. This is a flight that I did just beforehand. And it's the same settings, just a different airplane and a different location. But you can kind of see the quality to a degree. I know it's a little bit blurry because I'm moving the camera in and out. All I can tell you is that when I'm flying, I have no problem reading a single digit on my cockpit display. I mean, it doesn't matter. If it's a glass, maybe I lean in a little bit, but you know what? I would have to do that in real life with my eyesight. So, but I don't have to lean in to see any of the gauges here. And as I'm flying, I mean, I can pick out details. Again, very hard to hold the phone and get the image. But I can find airports from a distance, day or night. I can see landmarks. I can navigate by the landmarks. You know, to me, this quality is more than sufficient. It really is a very nice quality in my Quest 2 headset. And again, my specs are listed earlier in the video. They're also listed in every video description that I have. I'm trying so hard. Yes, you can see it's so hard to do. Trying to get it inside because the phone doesn't actually fit in there, and I didn't want it to just catch part of the video. And I'm trying to keep this thing from diving nose down into the ground, and as you're going to see, that I'm not successful at that. But the textures on the aircraft, the wings, the cables, the leather, the vinyl, the rivets, the screw heads, the scratches in the cockpit glass, all of that right there, and super clear, super clean for my eyesight, and very, very realistic and immersive looking. Same thing with the ground. When I come down here and get close to these buildings and so forth, I mean, yeah, it's not clear here, but see, you can see I'm going down. But it is when I'm flying. That's all I can tell you. So, Nvidia control panel, main panel setting. The only thing I have adjusted is the shader cache size, which you can see I set to 100 gig. Here, my image scaling, 80% turned on for GPU scaling and sharpening. You can see this is where my anisotropic filtering is controlled. It is set at 16. Low latency mode is turned on. I love the Spitfire. Flying over England and heading over to the English Channel here. Okay, prefer maximum performance. Texture filtering on, negative LOD, allow. Quality is set to performance, not high performance, but just performance. Trilinear on, optimization on. It went by fast and 4. You can rewind. Game mode is turned off on my system. HAGS is turned on. Variable refresh is turned on, and optimizations for windowed games is turned on. Now you saw, if you watched the first half of this video, my actual computer configuration, which I have almost nothing running on this computer. I have no antivirus. I don't run pretty much anything. Now, I wouldn't recommend that, but I've been in the IT industry for a few decades now, and I've been working at a very high level in security for almost 2 decades, and so I wouldn't recommend it, but I control my environment pretty tight. Now, that being said, try and keep as little running as you can. My community folder has, I think right now, 5 airplanes in it and nothing else. I have airports and I have probably 50 other aircraft, but I don't put them in my community folder unless I'm going to fly them or in those locations. I don't need them loading in the sim. I don't know if it makes much of a difference. It's my personal preference. You'll also see if you watch the first half of the video that I do run that, what's it called, ILSC tool, Intelligent Standby List Cleaner, ISLC, version 1028. I run the OpenXR toolkit. I do not run any Oculus software. I don't run the debug. I don't run the tray tool. I don't even run the Oculus app itself. It's not running. It's not installed. So none of the settings in there make any difference on my flying or my configuration. Well, there you go. This video has everything that I can possibly think of. If I forgot anything, let me know and I will post it in the comments or in a follow-up video. I sure hope this helps you guys get the performance that I get. You know, some of the things that help is I have a powerful fan cooling tray, and when I'm flying I actually use the Alienware tool to crank my fans up to 80% speed. So if I don't do that, after about 20 minutes to a half hour, depending on what I'm flying, it starts to get stuttery occasionally. So I do definitely keep it cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know if I forgot anything. If I did, let me know. Again, I sure hope this helps you get the same performance and enjoyment I get out of this fantastic sim. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the skies.